Hello! Monsters abound here. I could have been one of the sugar babes, you know, but I had too much raw sexuality. Would have overshadowed the girls. It was like looking directly at the sun and desperately wanting to lose the entirety of your sight, as the agent put it. So, 'twas not to be, sadly. But that means we can continue with part 5 of my Fay Enchantress campaign, where, in classic Monsters Abound fashion, I've managed to piss off the entire world. Go me. But we do have a little fellowship. Look at this. We've got poor old...
Your coming was foretold.
Poor Mina. She's on foot. She's on foot. And with that headgear as well. There's a lot of fancy headgear going on here. We've got an eagle. Or maybe it's just a bird sat on his head. I'm not sure. And there's a dragon on his. Tim, of course, going hatless. So he can show off the guy liner. Because there's no point, you know, doing your makeup if no one can see it. Is there? And at the Fay Enchantress on silver on there, and we're heading towards Mousillon because they tried to lay siege to Bordeaux last episode, but failed. And now we're building Bordeaux up to hopefully make us some big money. I mean, currently we're only making 382 there, but that doesn't count the 650 odd we make from wine and our trading partners. So we're going to beef that up, get some more trade goods coming in, all that kind of good stuff. I've currently pieced out with the Skaven, because frankly, I've got enough on my plate at the moment without having to deal with them as well. We're at war with the Wood Elves. We're not at war with Skarsnik or Kemler. Famous last words. We're at war with Norska now as well. And I have a distinct suspicion that some of the High Elves are probably going to try and fuck us up on top of that. So it's all kicking off. And people are kicking in my direction, which isn't great. But we will end the turn, and hopefully next turn we'll go and hit Mousillon with everything we've got and take it down. Now, we've got a lot of characters because Bretonnia doesn't have supply lines. So normal factions, you recruit another lord, and that increases your upkeep across the board by 15%. Bretonnia doesn't have that because, well, first, their armies are garbage. And second of all, because your peasants are kept down by your economy, effectively. So you can't actually afford that many armies. Well, oh shit. That's not entirely true, because you can afford all the horses you want. All the knights are free. The peasants, though, you can only have a certain number of them determined by the number of provinces you have. So there's a little bit of a limiter on how many armies you can have anyway, because you only have a certain number of infantry. It's not a huge problem, really. I guess you could have as many knights as you want, but obviously, you know, you kind of need infantry to sort of hold your line and have something for your knights to actually be the hammer against, because obviously you do the hammer and anvil. Oh my god, there's more of them. Okay, we're going to have to hit Mousillon right away. There's no way around it. We need to take them out. We've also got the orcs. Yeah, we're going to lose some territory. We've got Khazrak coming from the south. We've got orcs coming from the east. We've got Mousillon to the west. It's all going wrong. Oh.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, I know who you are. Okay, we can. Can we? Yes, we can, because we've got the siege. You've got a lot of zombies. I think we'll be all right.
Ever ready.
I think we'll be all right. Okay. So we're going to continue the siege. Apparently we've moved a character to Leonesi. That's true. That's what we had Alberic's Trident quest. So is that it? Capture and occupy the following settlements. Well, fortunately, that's exactly what we were doing. All that Alberic's agent was able to learn during his time in Mousillon is that the city is as damnable and decrepit as ever. Frustrated by a lack of leads, yet energized by investigation, Alberic knows precisely what must be done next. The Trident of Manan billows on the flag of Bordeaux. As the Duke rallies his forces to war, Mousillon will be taken by force, and any surviving inhabitants will answer to Alberic or face his blade. Well, it's just as well we're heading that direction anyway. Let's move everyone.
You know who I am? My reputation precedes me.
Does it? Okay, we'll scooch over here.
Blessings of the lady be upon you.
Let's get everyone nice and close. And then...
Ask this of me?
So, we've got quite a few units here. I think we should all be able to come onto the battlefield. Yeah, I think that's fine, because obviously the last battle we had the garrison as well. But this battle we won't. Now, the city won't have any archer defense, but our peasants aren't very good, and we're going to just have to attack right away. So we're going to have to rely on our characters and our Pegasus Knights, I think, to do some damage on the walls. We can also, of course, just, you know, do some... We could try and take down the towers, but I just think one field trebuchet isn't going to take them down very fast. We're just going to sustain a lot of damage. So I think we're just going to go for it. I think we're just going to have to go for it, but... here goes nothing. So this is going to be a tough siege because, one, for some reason, they've got explosive wally things. I don't know quite why, because they shouldn't. Maybe it's because it's a capital, but oh well. So our infantry are going to try and take the walls. I wish if it was just normal arrows, I wouldn't worry too much, but big explosive thingies like this is going to cause us a lot of damage. So we're going to try and take the walls. Archers moving up. Here comes Tim and his flying squad. They're going to head straight over the walls so they don't start getting shot up, because these guys are super fragile. They're potent but fragile, so we're just going to try and get... I'm trying to decide whether to pull them back or send them over, because I'm worried about them being death siphoned or whatever it is. Soul siphoned, that's it. Because soul siphoned will do quite a lot of damage to these guys. So archers already opening fire and peasants approaching. We've got more reinforcements pouring in. So this is Tim's infantry. We've also got this lady whose name I've forgotten. It doesn't really, not really important, to be honest. She won't make it through the battle. But meanwhile, we've also got Alberic. Alberic leading the ground knights, whereas Tim is leading the sky force. And the Fay Enchantress leading her infantry. We're going to try and take down the wall. But what we're also going to try and do is make another entrance. We're going to try and get the main undead army's attention with our infantry. And then we're going to try and make a little hole in the wall so that we can send our knights through. Because once our knights are through, then we can maybe get some rear charges. If we try and send them into this grinder down here, it's going to prove rather painful. So peasants up on the wall. They're mostly fighting some ghouls here, which are, I mean, they're quite nasty, but not particularly effective. They've got quite high weapon strength, so when they do hit, they're going to do a lot of damage. They've got poison as well. Not the best, but these zombies down here are complete garbage. Zombies, well, zombies are actually slightly better than the peasant mob because they don't break. That's the only reason. The peasant mob is pretty similar in stats, but we don't have peasant mob. We've got men-at-arms, which means men-at-arms can probably beat zombies. I say probably. I'm not holding out much hope. So arrows raining down. The arrows are really going to be doing most of the work here. We're just using the infantry to sort of blob up the undead and then do some damage to them if we can. Lots of undead here. Big blob of some Graveguard. Of course, we've got the Reskin mod. Have a look in the mods. In the description for all the list of mods I'm using Dryrain's Reskin mods, and it does make the Muson undead look like Bretonians, which looks pretty cool. I like that. It does the same with Kemler's army as well, so I really like that. It's a nice little change. Makes them look just a little bit, you know, because normally they will look like, you know, bog standard Empire. So for example, the zombies will look like, you know, Empire zombies, whereas here we have some different ones. We've got some ones that look like Empire, some ones that are wearing Bretonian outfits, all that kind of good stuff. I quite like that. And the skeletons, again, wearing some slightly different equipment. So they look a bit more Bretonian, which I like. We've also got a Vargulf there, a bit problematic. So our trebuchet is hitting this wall over here. Not doing a huge amount of damage, but we will eventually get there. The gate is down, so we're going to send our infantry. Mostly these men-at-arms with pole arms, because they are, of course, actually anti-large and armor piercing. I'm a little bit concerned about this Vargulf, because the Vargulf is going to be a big threat. Can do a lot of damage. Archers continue to rain down fire, looking pretty good, doing quite a lot of damage to these Graveguards. Just trying to whittle them down a little bit. We do have some spears up on the wall here. We're going to bring them down just before the wall comes down. The idea being, if we can get the attention of some of these units, then our knights can come in, hit them in the rear, and deal with them that way. We've got the advantage on this unit of Graveguards. Got the Battle Pilgrims here who are doing their best. They do have the ladies favour the physical resistance. So that's going to help. And to be honest, the Bretonnians bloody need it. So when we come in, we've got the men-at-arms with polearms. We've also got the foot squires coming in as well. Lots of these units, undead units now gathering around, trying to hit them from all directions. That's exactly what we wanted. How's this wall going? 74 damage. We're almost there. Almost there. More fire raining down, these poison arrows raining down on the Graveguard. Also raining down on our men as well, but then our men are probably poisoned from... Oh, those ghouls have actually either fled or died, so... Yeah, we're poisoning our own units, but you know what? Sod's law. It's difficult to use poison arrows. The poison arrows are mostly good at just sort of slowing enemy units down. So we've got a little column sort of pushing into the city. Ideally, what I probably should have done is move my units either side. In come the Pegasus Knights to help out with this unit of Graveguard. Getting some lovely charges there. They're quite good on walls as well, because it's quite easy for them to retreat and they can't get flanked by enemy cavalry. If your Pegasus Knights get flanked and locked into combat, they are fucked. So they're very, very glass cannon. You charge them in, you bring them out again. You don't leave them in combat because they tend to get chewed up quite quickly. Ah, the walls are down, and our peasants have engaged these Black Knights. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our knights in. And then we're going to surround and engage these Black Knights. Got Black Knights with Lancers and Barn. Again, they look like Bretonnian Knights because of the reskin mod, which I really like. Really like that. Okay, in come our Ground Guardians. The Ground Guardians are going to be they're very much our key unit here. Pretty much everything else we've got is pretty garbage. Alberic is charging into this mob of spearmen to keep them at bay, so all of our knights, once they are in the city, can go and engage these enemy knights and just chew their way through them. If we can just secure our rear, they do have some units still hiding around the city centre here, but it's not too bad. We've been flanked, and unfortunately it looks like our prophetess, the Fay Enchantress and Marie are kind of engaged here, not doing very well unfortunately. Our Bretonnian peasants are starting to rout. Our Pegasus Knights now coming in to do a little charge against these zombies. That works out quite well. We've got zombies flying everywhere. That's looking pretty good. A little trebuchet shot there goes into them though, unfortunate. And the knights here, we're bogged down into a bit of a grinder. Now, probably what I should have done is pulled my Knights Errant out of this more early. Or earlier. More early? Earlier. Because my Grail Knights are just chopping their way through them, but they're not doing very much damage. There's a lot of armour here. So I was hoping that surrounding them would break them, but it looks like they're just kind of like they're holding on a bit too long. So Pegasus Knights trying to do the cycle charges, but we're caught in combat a little bit. We've got problems on the wall as well. Our peasants, men-at-arms are starting to rout. Our command group here, our sorceress command group, has been surrounded, and it looks like what's her face? Is it Mina? I think it's Mina is being chopped up. Unfortunately, that's not great. There's also an enemy hero in here, a vampire and a White King, I believe. Our Royal Pegasus Knights getting some good charges here. That's doing quite well. The Black Knights, I say, are being ground down. Their leadership is still pretty good, though. It's still pretty high, and that's a problem. That's a problem for us, because as long as they're just sitting there pretty... Look at this. Damage sustained, base value, charge... They're not charging. The fuck are they charging? Are you shitting me? They're not charging. There we go. Enemy routing 13. Yeah, okay, so we're getting there. But it looks like Alberic has fled the fight. We have sent some of our Knights Errant in to engage the Graveguard, but their charge was a little bit poor, and they're kind of now bogged down in combat. We have got Cassian, apparently. That's Tim, I think you'll find. It's bloody Tim, that is. Tim is fighting the enemy Vargulf. Although the enemy army is looking a little bit... It's on a knife edge at the moment. Our infantry is fleeing. That's not great. Mina is taking a beating. She's going down. The Fay Enchantress is fighting the White King and not doing very well. Oh no! Mina just got chopped up by the Vampire of Death. And now she's doing the same with the Fay Enchantress. We need to get out of there. So our front entrance engagement not looking great. Alberic has returned, and fortunately the Grail Knights are finishing off the last few. There we go. He finally managed to finish off the Black Knights. The Black Knights, who are not a particularly good cavalry unit, held on for ridiculously long and managed to deal quite a lot of damage to our infantry. They managed to kill 52, which is significantly more than I thought they would do. Our Grail Guardians are literally the only unit we've got standing that are any kind of continued sort of health. They've got the most out of any. Our units are looking a bit shit, to be honest, but the Grail Knights, Grail Guardians now coming in. They basically, we just need them everywhere. We need them everywhere to deal with everything, because the rest of the enemy army is looking a bit impossible to deal with. We've got some last few skeletons over here. We've got some characters, Vampire of Death over there. Marie is running for a life. Thankfully, there's a few Knights Errant helping out. Where's Tim? Is Tim okay? Tim, I think, has legged it. We've got some Fellbats just running around, but infantry is coming back to the fight, so we can send them back in to help out. The Grail Guardians... Oh, there's Tim. Tim doing good stuff. That Vargulf, though, still fighting. We just need to... It's leadership. Normally, Vargulfs have a problem with their leadership, but this Vargulf is just... It's getting there, but there we go. I saw a -10 there for a second. He should be... There we go. He's wavering. That's when his bind... There we go. He's now critical binding. He's going down. Grail Guardians literally the only thing still fighting with any kind of regularity. The rest of our infantry and knights have taken a lot of damage and are running away at the slightest sign of a skeleton. That's a bit of a problem because there's a lot of skeletons around. Well, significantly less than there used to be. This Vampire of Death, the one that killed Mina, is getting charged. Can someone kill her, please? Can someone just kill her? That's it. I mean, the bowman, peasant bowman, not really doing much damage, but... No! I like that guy. He had my favourite colour horse. She's still fighting, but I think she's going down eventually. The Fay Enchantress has fled but returned. Oh, she's fleeing again. She's off. But we can drop some heals on our units potentially. There's a little Flock of Doom just dropped on top of these zombies, doing nothing basically, just bugger all damage. But the Grail Guardians are, look at this, 160 kills so far, just chopping their way through the undead. No problem there. But we need more Grail Guardians, really. A lot more. A ton more, because our Knights Errant were garbage, and the Pegasus Knights, I mean, they took just they killed 66, which is okay. It's not too bad. How did Tim do? Tim killed 97. That's pretty impressive. And the Royal Pegasus Knights 141 again, but they're just so fragile against missile units, particularly. They just go down like a ton of bricks. You know, they're good where they are, but especially against Wood Elves, they're not good against Wood Elves. Wood Elves are a lot of flying units. A lot of units that can shoot, and they just whittle down Pegasus Knights before they can get anywhere near. The Fell Bats are scaring the shit out of our peasant bowmen. They're just big bats, guys. I mean, yes, they're really big bats, to be fair, as big as a man, but, you know, just chop them. You'll be fine. The Grail Knights will show you how. Okay, we've managed to capture the sort of like the gates. That's good. That's kind of where we want to be. There are still a few units still hanging around the city centre, one of which is the Red Duke. So that's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because he's a bit of a tough customer. But we've got to deal with him. The Skeleton Spearmen and some Crypt Ghouls. So the Crypt Ghouls and Skeleton Spearmen, no particular problem. But the Red Duke, a little bit of an issue. Now, the Pegasus Knights taking quite a lot of damage. The Royal Pegasus Knights taking less damage. Now, because there's only 16 members in a unit, it means that if six of the Pegasus Knights have survived, that's actually not too bad. Whereas only 3, so yeah, they're about half strength. And poor old Tim not looking in very rude health. The Grail Guardians, though, 208 kills, and look at that. They've taken about a quarter of their health damage? That's not bad, is it? That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. Now, we're going to bring all of our units in here, because what we need is we're going to need a full army if we're going to take out the Red Duke, because we don't really have any characters left Alberic is yeah, very low health. Cassian, low health. Fay Enchantress got 68 health. I'm amazed she survived, to be honest. So we're going to drop some heals on our boys. So that's going to help out, I hope, a little bit. A very little bit, but it's better than nothing. We've got some skeleton spearmen approaching from the city centre. Now, these lads should know better, because we're going to move all of our infantry, including the archers, because they're all out of ammo, over the big piles of corpses. A lot of them undead, but there's quite a few peasants in there as well. I say quite a few, I mean there's a lot of peasants in there as well. But these lads are going to do their best to sell their lives dearly so that these knights errant can get some good charges in. Because, yeah, they've lost about half their number. Now, I'm not really paying attention because I'm more paying attention to what's going on over here. So I'm not paying attention to this. And in fact, the Red Duke is advancing. Defending a victory point. Yes, well, that may well be. So Red Duke is advancing and he's coming right for the Fay Enchantress, who only has 68 health, remember. So that's not great. Because I'm not paying attention. Alberic, save me! Now, fortunately, Alberic is dealing with this little problem, while our Knights Errant get a lovely charge there, do a lot of stinking damage to these skeleton spearmen. Look at that. I mean, it's not bad, but that's like... Against skeleton spearmen in the flank as well. You'd think it would have done a little bit more... I quite like how the charges feel in Three Kingdoms. That feels a bit more, you know, impactful, whereas I think the problem here is the cavalry charges don't feel particularly impactful. So the ghouls going down. The Red Duke is finally done. The Fay Enchantress managed to get away, and she's managed to heal herself up, so it's a little bit better. In come the Royal Pegasus Knights, and the Red Duke finally fades away. I mean, other than the terrifying level of casualty, that went absolutely fine, I think. I think that was okay. Okay, good. We only lost 1,000. They lost, you know, we were outnumbered quite, well, a bit. It's fine. Although that's going to lose a chivalry, it will give us the unit replenishment, and I think I need it. So I'm going to sack the city. Got a hedge wizard. That's nice. It's nice to have someone to do the hedges, and if that's magical, all the better. Mina unfortunately died because I threw her into combat without thinking.
Do you know who I am?
Classic me. And can we... Oh, I shouldn't have... I marched these units. Let's just occupy that.
Of the realm.
We captured Mousillon. Excellent. So there we go. So move a character to Bordelot. Every lead that Alberic pursues having dried up, the Duke has no choice but return to Bordelot and begin his investigation anew. The scene of the crime may yet yield a nugget of truth or an actionable link that was missed the first time. What is he, like a detective? Is this Detective Alberic? Like Kojak? Who loves you, baby? With grim continence, yet no less of a determined spirit, Alberic sets out to return to his dukedom, where he certainly will unlock the mystery of this dark crime. Alberic is on the case. Holy shit. Okay, we've got Lennart Hopt Anderson over here. Now, he just has a bunch of zombies, so I think we'll be alright. There is quite a lot of corruption here, which is a bit of a problem. But we can actually just encamp up, which is what we're probably gonna have to do. You can't. You sacked a place, didn't you? If
My reputation precedes me.
Okay, I think it's more important that the Fay Enchantress gets replenishment. So we'll do that. He might not attack us. He might go, you know what, that's a bit rich for my blood, and not bother. But I'm not sure. How's Mousillon doing? So Mousillon is a minor settlement. Does it have a special building? Maybe it's only if you're undead. You have the Black Fortress of Mousillon or something. We've got greenskins coming. I wonder if we can... No. Okay, well, you know, I guess Montfort, we may as well cancel that because you're going to lose it. We've got quite a lot of money thanks to the whole sacking thing. That's good, isn't it? That's fine. We could actually get Knights of the Realm here. What we do need to do, though, is upgrade this, because we've got Kazrak. Oh, and also Slar. Slar and Kazrak heading towards Castle Carcassonne. So that's fine. And by fine, I mean very concerning. So let's upgrade some of this. Aquitaine, we can upgrade you as well. At least we'll have defences there.
Strength and wisdom are yours.
Indeed. Tim, you ranked up. Good job, Tim. Let's give you more charge bonus and speed for your Pegasus Knights, because to be honest, without it, they're a bit shit. They're just so fragile. You have to use them in just the right position. If you use them in the wrong position, you are fucked. Basically, they will just die within seconds. They're just so easy to kill. Do we have anything interesting we could use here? Call of Errantry is quite a lot of money. Could be useful. Could be... I mean, could we send it against the Beastmen? Would that work? Could send it against the Greenskins. I wonder if we just hold it in our back pocket just in case. Now, we are making some good cash now, and hopefully we'll make some good cash next turn as well. If we can confederate with Leonesi, that would be grand.
Welcome to fair Britonia.
Can we get military access?
I refuse.
All right, no, Britonia weeps apparently. Don't know what for. Can I walk across your land? No, Britonia's weeping. All right, chill out, mate.
Welcome to fair Britonia.
Military alliance?
I never fail.
No. Well, there we go. Could we get?
Do you wish the?
Yep.
Lord of welcome, friends. Let's hope we can come to an accommodation. I am no churl.
I don't call you a churl, you helmeted knob. Okay, we're going to lose Montfort. That's, you know, not the best, but it could be worse. Let's grab that and hope that Mousillon does not attack us. We do have an upgrade here, minus 5% upkeep for units. Thing is, you don't really have much in the way of units there. What we got? Upkeep for all units, campaign movement range, ship crew growth. Okay, let's grab that. Let's grab that and see what happens. Fingers crossed that they don't. If they do come into it, I mean, the thing is, when a faction's lost their last province, they do tend to go a bit mad and just throw themselves against you. On the plus side, our Grail Knights are in tip-top condition, so that's good. On the downside, the rest of the army is fucked. So that's, you know, bit of swings and roundabouts there, isn't it? Bit of good, bit of bad. And hopefully the Greenskins leave, go somewhere else, go and... Oh, Kazrak, hi Kazrak. Kazrak's raiding. That is fine. If we can just defeat Mousillon, then we can rush southward, although the public order at Mousillon is going to be horrendous because, of course, the vampiric corruption, so we're going to have to try and get a handle on that. But with the vampires gone, that should drop quite quickly. Only problem is we don't have Leonesi, so we don't have the whole capital. No, Montfort. Yeah. Yeah, well. Oh my god, what? Oh, hello. You're going for it, are you? You're going for it. Fair enough, you know. I'm going to fight this because I don't want to lose any... I have a feeling that it will see... The auto-resolve will see those Royal Pegasus Knights and just lick its lips, won't it? It'll just go, ah, they're dead. So we're not going to let them do that. We're going to fight the battle. He's got a lot of zombies, does old Lennart. Hut Anderson. That's right, it's Mr. Anderson. Where's Mr. Anderson? There he is. Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We've missed you. He's looking a little bit worse for wear, isn't he? He's got a very bald head. Off he goes, jogging towards our lines. And we've set up right on top of this hill over here, which has got a commanding view of the valley. Very, very nice. We've got reinforcements pouring in from every direction. And we're getting some good hits on these zombies. Hitting them with some blessed water. I'm not sure how useful is magical damage artillery, realistically. Because, I mean, the only units it's really going to do any good against is the... I mean, you know, it's not too bad in general. It's doing okay. That guy's lost his head. So he's not happy. He's not doing very well. Mind you, this guy's lost his head as well, and he's carrying on. Just, where is he? You, mate, are just a work-shy freeloader. Your friend without a head, he's carrying on. He's doing his best, isn't he? Bless him. Oh well. Okay, so we've got some ghouls coming up our left flank, and our Grail Guardians are coming down to meet them. Over here, looks like Alberic got into some trouble with some enemy knights, but Tim and his flying squad, what's left of it anyway, managed to deal with them. So good work there. We're going to get a lovely little charge right into these ghouls, sending ghouls flying, just running straight through them. Look at that. Holy shit. Did about half the damage of the units in one hit. Now, that would probably be enough to break a unit. These guys are just mildly perturbed. But we've got peasant spearmen, men-at-arms coming down to assist over here as well. And here comes Mr. Anderson charging up the hill, being filled with arrows. But still doing okay. But what do we have coming for him? Do we have someone coming for... Oh, yeah, there he is. Alberic. Alberic has arrived. I missed him. Alberic is prodding him with a trident. He's like, yeah, you get some of this. The Fay Enchantress will not fall on my watch with her 428 health. She's probably fine. And the Pegasus Knights now coming in, getting a rear charge on these zombies. Sending zombies flying. A big gold zombie pinball effects. Grail Knights come charging down to finish off the last of the Crypt Ghouls. And they've now got 77 kills. Not bad at all. Okay, so far so good. We've got some zombies in the centre here. We're dealing with them. We've got whatever his face is. Our Lord. I can't remember what his name is. All I know is that he's got some sort of bird roosting on his head. And he's dealing with some zombies. Good job, mate. 7 kills. Not too bad. The Knights Errant over here getting some good old charges, or, well, they would be if I wasn't ignoring them and not paying attention. One of their number is currently getting zombified, though. Look at that. But he's okay. At some point, there we go. I've remembered they're there. No, I haven't. Will I? I might pull them back at some point. There we go. I've remembered. I've seen them. I've gone like, oh, shit, yeah. I should do something about that. Over here, we've got some spearmen and some foot squires. Looks like Mr. Anderson is now dead. Shame. Okay, Knights Errant now coming charging down. Lovely charge straight into the flank of those zombies. Zombies flying everywhere. Holy shits. So many zombies flying everywhere. Now, in fact, full damage can kill units. I have had it before where I've been charged and got really dicked over by an angle of charge and lost a quite significant portion of a unit just because they've dropped it off a cliff. Well, Mr. Anderson is dead. I mean, you know, properly dead this time because he's dead already. I'm kind of tempted to take the experience, but I think I'm just screw it. Yeah, we'll take the experience. Take the experience. He's run away. How much of his army? So, hang on, that can't be. How did what? Did what? What? Who? Who? What is it? Why have I lost... Hang on. What's going on? Why have I lost trade with Artois? Oh, right, because I lost Montfort. Alright. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right, why do you... Why do you... Why... What? Eh? God damn it. God bloody damn it. Now, we are replenishing, which is good. We'll go and deal with this knobhead. Just auto-resolve that. And that should give us a good amount of chivalry, hopefully. And we'll take some more experience, because why not? Montfort has been raised. Yes, Tristan Lebeau is back. Mousselon has been destroyed. And we've got another Hedge Wizard and a Talisman of Endurance, which will come in useful. An Potion of Toughness and a Court Jester. And a Forbidden Rod. And another Court Jester. And apparently Tim's a saviour. Holy shit. As is... What the... Gained by reinforcing a friendly army. Charge back. Whoa. Holy shit. That's nice. Christ.
Blessings
Christ
of
on
the
a
lady
bike.
be upon you.
Oh, we lost the Peg. Well, we've still got the Royal Pegasus. They've got 77 charge. That's good. It's a bit of a bugger, isn't it?
Protect
Oh well.
Bretonia.
These things happen. Fay Enchantress, you have ranked up. Secrets of the Garbage. Basic trick. Nah. None of that. None of that. Or any of the other things. Do I want to go worship? I think if we get more... The Battle Pilgrims are probably the best infantry we have. So beefing them up is probably sensible. And Marie, who has amazingly survived this far, is going to get evasion. Now, the Transformation of Kadon and the Curse of Anra here are spells that I'm not overly excited about, but Arcane Conduit is too good not to have. So we're definitely going to head in that direction. How's Mouson's Public Order? It is terrible. What about if we untax it? Slightly better, but corruption is quite high. It is dropping, but unfortunately we can't hang around because we've got, oh bloody hell, we've got greenskins all over the bloody place.
I hear the
Coming out of my bottom, and that's the worst place to have greenskins. Oh, we've completed that. Amass a treasury of 10,000, although much of the groundwork on the investigation... What? Alberic is a PI, has some fucking massive expenses, doesn't he? What's he... Jesus Christ. A few locals are induced to offer up some additional information. They cannot be sure these men were thieves, but several locals report seeing a group of suspicious men boarding a ship bound for Brionne. Alberic is gleeful. Finally a clue, yet his hopes are... The game's afoot. Finally a clue, yet his hopes are suddenly dashed. The harbour master reports the ship never reached Brionne and its whereabouts are now unknown. Although frustrated by failure yet again, the Duke is determined to discover where the ship ended up. As such, funds must be raised if a search party is to be launched. 10 grand for a search party?
Protector of the realm.
I can recruit a bunch of peasant mob for...
My strength and
Look, we can just send them up in every direction. Yes, most of them will die. In fact, all of them will die. Louis has ranked up. Good job, Louis. You can be an inspiring presence.
Lord
Yes, you can.
Bretonia.
And Tim. Timmating. Let's give you more charge bonus and speed. The Royal Pegasus Knights now have 80 charge bonus. Holy shit. When they charge, you know it. Right, we're going to leave Alberic here,
The lady wills it.
which is going to help a little bit.
Do you know who I am?
And Louis, we're going to bring you in to help us. I'm tempted to march. The thing is, he can definitely reach Aquitaine, can't he?
prophecy.
Okay, we're gonna march because then we can. If he hits Aquitaine, he can't raise it. He can just sack it, theoretically. But Paravon is going to come under siege. We've got we're surrounded. How the fuck do they have? They've got one bloody settlement. It's about to rebel as well. How have they got so many orcs? Where have all the orcs come from? That's not on, is it? That's shenanigans, that is. Alberic's leveled up. We're going to give you, I don't know, Blade Master. Sure.
My strength and wisdom are yours.
Good to hear. Let's see if we can assault these jerks.
Lunacy.
Indeed, Lunacy, because you failed. Oh, rubbish. Okay, so we got problems. We got problems, to be fair. You know, some problems. The orcs are getting all up in our shit. Aquitaine is about to be sacked. There's no point building that because you're going to get sacked. So that's just a thing. What else? Can we do anything? Untainted. Campaign movement range. You know what? Let's do this. Call against invaders. Bretonia are no stranger to war or invasions. Bretonians will band together to fight off any threat that seeks to infiltrate their borders, big or small. Because one, campaign movement range is going to be useful because we need to go all over the bloody place at the moment. And secondly, it'll bring down some of this corruption, which should then hopefully get Mousson back under control ASAP. We're about to lose Aquitaine though, so that's the thing.
Defender of the weak.
Right, yes. Can we...
Death to the enemy.
Nope, apparently not. Critical failure. Good job, Nathan, you complete tit. I don't know. You just can't get the help these days, can you? Well, I mean, that is, I'm going to be honest, unexpected. Didn't think they would decide to jump us. They must think they're in with a chance. They do have a lot of squigs. But I think we'll be okay. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for this episode, so I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Fay Enchantress.